Hello guys, I'm here again, and on this tutorial we're going to start making the models to generate the tiles and the textures for the cloud. Here you have some examples that I did on how does the textures works, and we have two patterns, the warps that are going to be the vertical lines, the orange lines here, and the width. The width, I actually don't know how to pronounce that, should be the horizontal lines that you see here. We have some patterns actually that can use as a reference. We have plane width, that is the normal 1 to 1. So one part of the strands goes over and goes under, over and under on a regular pattern. So here you just need to add the amount that it's necessary. After that we have the basket width, that is 2 per 2. So 2 on top, 2 behind, 2 on top, 2 under the guide. We have twill, that is different here. We have 3 and 4. So it's actually quite different to see it work. Herringbone, that it's the one that we did before, or close to the one that we did, in which we have like these big words again and again. And satin width, the satin it's really hard to make because it depends on the amount of actual repetitions. This is not the actual width satin because we are going to need like 38 repetitions of cloth. So it will be like 4 times the amount of strands that we have here. We're going to check the satin if we have time for this tutorial. So if you need some new patterns, the easiest way is so if you need some more patterns, the easy way is to look for width patterns or waving patterns. And here you're going to see a lot of examples. We have this example here that is for paper, but it works again for cloth. We can see here that we have some patterns for satin. It's 5 harness satin. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 vertical lines, and the 5th is under the strand. That's why it's a 5th pattern. And here you're going to find a lot of cool types of twills and widths to see for cloth. Also you can adjust and make width for cloth specifically, maybe to canvas. And let's see how does the canvas look actually. It's similar to the twill. Actually, let's see if we can find something here that could work. And this is how you find your actual structures. We're going to create a new structure here, and let's create a complete texture for this tutorial. Let's say that we have a burlap. This is a complex cloth, and let's try to get the highest amount of detail that we can. I have this texture here. You can do it by texture or using the actual width pattern. Let me show you a width pattern for burlap first. Okay, I have this texture for burlap here. It's a photograph, and I will take out the pattern from here. Let's try to set a quick cut here, and let's add some guides with even spaces. Okay, something like this could work for my purpose. I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to select the vertical lines, just the vertical lines first. Let me hide this guy, and let's put a black surface behind everything, just to see better the actual lines. And let's select the vertical lines. I know that the size is not the same on everyone, but I want to take the pattern, just the pattern out, and it's easy to see the pattern with boxes, and that way you will learn how to make your own patterns even if you don't find the actual weaving pattern. So you don't have to worry about the weaving patterns if you don't have the information. I'm going to create this one, and these guys are going to be red. Let's change the color actually and use different colors than the actual IDs that I use for the pattern there. And now let's hide these guys. This one is verticals, vertical, and I'm going to create a new one here, and this is going to be for the horizontal. And these ones are going to be yellow. I think this color is too bright and too shiny. I'm a little bit sick. My throat is sore. So sorry if you hear me weird. Let's change the hue and saturation. Something like that. Will be good. Okay, so we have the pattern. And we have the actual effect here. And now let's see. I'm going to put 1 where the actual vertical line is on top, and I'm going to put 0 where the vertical line is behind. So let's try it out. I'm going to put 1 where the vertical line is on top. You can do this by ones, or the easiest way to work with these guys should be these one are the horizontal lines, this color. The easy way is just to paint the box. So this is on top, 0, this is on top, this one is on top. Yeah, it's on top. This one should be starting to be behind. So we have 1 clear box here. I'm going to put just the ones that it's completely on top. And what I can see here, it's that the pattern start to repeat here with both of them. So I'm going to add 2 more to get to the pattern. So I can actually see a pattern, an actual pattern here. So I'm going to use it in my favor. You can see that this part is twice as big as the other part. And that's really important to see when you're working on a pattern. That this part is twice as big, twice as big, twice as big. I think it's not actually a pattern, so I'm going to remove both lines. Let's leave this part as I had. So that's the only part that it's really complex, is to define the actual pattern that we're going to use. I have the purple lines. Let me add when my little guy is going to be on top. So when the horizontal lines are on top. Okay, now I have my purple pattern and my yellow pattern. As you can see, I have both here, and I need one purple line here, where I need one purple should be here, and this one should be yellow. I'm filling the gaps between my information. This one should be purple, and this one should be purple. This one should be purple. This one should be purple, 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 purple. Okay, I think that I have all my information. I'm going to remove my pattern here, and let's put again this guy. So where the yellow lines goes on top and where the yellow lines goes under the purple lines. For that, I'm going to put the yellow lines are the ones that are always behind, should be the purple lines. So here I have my yellow lines. I'm going to select these guys, put these guys on top, and put them on exclusion so I can see them. This is weird. I think I will need to redo my actual lines. I will need to put everything vertical. Okay. This guy, it's the horizontals. Where are my vertical lines? These are my vertical lines. Okay. Let's generate a new pattern. I'm going to create an horizontal line here, a vertical line, and I'm going to apply the purple color. For that, I'm going to make it slightly smaller. Let's see a reference. Vertical lines normally are thicker, so I'm going to make it slightly smaller, and I'm going to duplicate this guy to have this guy all over this other black spots. So will be exclusion. Yeah. So I have one here. I have one here. I'm going to put my purple guy always on top of the purple guys. Remember that I'm just defining the actual pattern. This is not going to be in any way used for proportions on 3D. This is the way that we define the actual pattern to work. These are all my guys. Yep. Maybe I need 2 more here. Let's close the navigator. Okay. These are the basic guys. Let me see if everything is working. Let's see the pattern. And I have them on the pattern. This is the only one that I can see weird. But it's okay. Okay, now I need to define them to be on top or under. These guys are going to be the ones that are always on top. So let's try to generate now the other types of patterns that will be my horizontal lines. So let's create an horizontal line here. Apply the yellow, and I'm going to make it slightly smaller than the other ones, and let's leave them where they are on top, so I know that I'm following the actual pattern that the weave or the cloth had there. Remember, if you don't want to create your patterns by hand, you can go and jump to the next part of the tutorial. The next part of the tutorial will be how to create it on 3D without having to make them, and directly with patterns that you can download from the internet. So I have my pattern here. Let's try to see if they are working. Should be around every strand. I think they are actually working, so it's okay. And now I have both. I have my vertical lines, verticals, that these ones were the old verticals and this is the new verticals, vertical lines. So here are both lines, right? I have my horizontals, my verticals, and where the verticals should be visible and where the horizontal should be visible. Now I select my horizontal lines, Ctrl-Shift-Alt, and select my vertical lines, and now I have where both lines intersect. I'm going to create a new layer, and every time that the dot is cyan, it will be a yellow, and if the vertical is purple, it should be purple there. So let's create the actual weaving pattern. This part it's easy, just follow the pattern that you decided there. And this should be the actual pattern. Let me remove the dots for this weaver. And now we have a working pattern. Let me create the actual tile to work. Let's select this guy here. Let's remove some of these guys. Let me create a square. Let's see if we can make this guy to work as a pattern. Let's select everything here. Let's stretch the lines. I don't care that you can see the width there. Let's put half the yellow tone on top, half the yellow tone there, and we are mixing yellow tones here on the left and the right. Let's cut this guy, and with a duplicate of this guy, let's duplicate everything. Let's get this guy inside a group. And now let's try to offset this page here, or this layer here, and filter other offsets. So if I offset this guy, I can actually see a pattern. Okay, it's not working here. I need to decide if I want them to work there or not. To make them work, I will need to take, let's try to take one of these, the yellow tip. Let's put him here. And it appears that it's not working either. Let me see. This is the guy that we need to fix. Maybe I will need to completely remove this guy. From here, let's see if I select just the place that I need to. And let's apply something like that. And maybe I will need to remove the yellows also from here. And to cut, let's see, to cut this guy and to extrude this guy over here. And remove this part for a second. I will need to take this guy and to make it go on top. This pattern here to copy them over there. And let's see if now it's working. Offset and verticals. Yeah, it's working now. We have the pattern working. And the pattern is not actually working on the left and the right. It's working, but I think that if we leave these two patterns here, we're going to see the guys too much on the actual width when we tile everything up. I can move a little bit this one to the right. This is before me making any 3D, right? So I can move this one a little bit to the right, maybe a little bit more. And now let's move both of them, starting from here to the right, and try to separate these guys, but I will need to have a little bit more of yellow lines here. I'm going to have yellow lines. Control C, Control Shift B, and let's copy this part. What I'm doing is trying to remove the tile as much as I can, or the pattern here, to make it not that obvious. So I have a pattern there and some waving, and some lines are appearing closer to the others, but it's not an actual pattern. Control Shift B again, and let's copy this one behind everything. I think that this is enough to make the pattern less obvious there. Let's see in the horizontals. Yeah, I have the pattern still here. I can see some pattern, but it's not that much. So you can see here, I think that this yellow line, both of these yellow lines should be, no, they shouldn't. Okay, so this thing is working now. Let's try to get everything on 0 and 0. And if I can have yellow lines on the half, and the start and the end to be the same on the left and the right, and complete the square here. So I'm going to save this as a burlap pattern. So this is burlap, this is the burlap pattern, or burlap width, burlap width. And now I will use this reference for the actual pattern. Now, if I take again my width here, I will leave this guy like, let me select this guy here and paste it I want to select this guy and paste it here. Okay. Now, as you can see, the size is not correct, and I think I'm missing some lefts here. As you can see, I'm missing this one, I'm missing this one, I'm missing this one, and I'm missing this one. So this is not the actual pattern there, but it's almost close. I can add some information directly on 3D to have everything work. I can see that here is a little loose, but that's okay. I just need the guide. And now it's time to start creating the actual pattern. I'm going to take this guy here. Remember that this guy is not a tile, so it's going to be hard to have this guy to work, but the burlap base. And on the next lesson, we are going to create this guy on 3D. Let me save this guy. Okay, I already have saved. So we'll see you, and we are going to create this guy on 3D on the next lesson.